It's been a Hall of Fame weekend at Progressive Field, but after a thrilling win Friday night, Carl Pavano went old school, St. Paul Gopher style, to beat the Tribe last night. Today, David Huff looks to pitch the Tribe to a win in the rubber match of this three-game series next on Channel 3. It's a gorgeous sunny Sunday afternoon here in downtown Cleveland as the Indians wrap up a three-game series, trying to take 2 out of 3 from their Central Division rivals, the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Today wraps up a grueling stretch of baseball for the Tribe. This will mark their 31st consecutive game against teams above the 500 mark, and they've really more than held their own.
They certainly have, and when you do that, the bullpen is doing its job. Chris Perez had 8 consecutive saves coming out of that bullpen, and when you get good pitching, you get some timely hitting. Matt Laporta hit his first walk-off home run ever, and, one-run games, they've been outstanding. 7-3 in the stretch of 30 ball games. You can see they're not scoring many runs because they have a young offense. Sometimes they get a little aggressive, but the pitching's been there, and when you get good pitching, you have an opportunity to win every ball game.
And we've got a pair of left-handers squaring off here today. Brian Dunsing for the Twins and David Huff, who did not pitch all that badly in his last start against the Boston Red Sox, but a couple of long balls hurt him in that game.
Well, and if you hold the Red Sox to 3 runs in their ballpark, you would think you're going to have a better fate. But he ended up taking the loss in that ball game, as you mentioned. A couple of home runs, but his stuff was there. He's going to come back and look for his first win against the Twins this year. He hasn't pitched very well, going up against Brian Dunsing, who is making his 4th start and has pitched 3 innings against the Tribe this year.
And Dunsing has really helped to solidify the Minnesota Twins starting rotation. We've got all the play-by-play action right here on Channel 3. Coming up next. Put the wraps on this 3-game series. Kids Fun Day here at Progressive Field. Indians also wrapping up Hall of Fame weekend festivities, although technically I guess they wrap up tomorrow with the Indians charity golf tournament, which will take place at Quail Hollow Resort and Country Club. That's always a great day for fans and golfers and Indians alumni and various sports celebrities throughout northeastern Ohio. Here today, though, the Indians trying to take some of the wind out of the sails of these Minnesota Twins. They've won 11 of their last 14, but they just can't seem to catch the White Sox. They're still a game and a half in back of Chicago. Seems like every time Chicago loses, Minnesota loses, and every time Minnesota wins, Chicago also wins. It's been that kind of a season here of late for the Twins, but still a lot of baseball to be played in this 2010 season.
Yeah, they still have 9 more games with the White Sox, so that's when you want to make it up right there.
And, of course, the Indians still have a number of meaningful games against both Minnesota and Chicago. especially when you look late in the season in the month of September. There's Fausto Carmona, who was on the hill last night. David Huff, looking for that win here today, takes the hill for the Tribe as the Indians take the field. Let's look at Ron Gardenhire's starting lineup today for the Minnesota Twins. Jason Repko getting the start in center field, leading it off. Then it's Orlando Hudson just off the DL. Joe Mauer batting third. Delman Young hits cleanup. Jason Kubel will bat fifth. Then it's Kadire, followed by Jim Thome, who starts for the first time in this series. Danny Valencia and J.J. Hardy.
It'll be David Huff on the mound, and this pitcher is brought to you by the Indians Team Shop, where you'll get 2 free mezzanine tickets when you spend $50. David Huff making his 15th start this year, and David looking for his third win. Both of his wins have come right here in Progressive Field. In his last start, he pitched on the road at Boston. Not a bad game, but all 3 runs scored via the long ball. And David has given up 13 of those this year. He is 2-4 in his career, 0-2 this year against the Minnesota Twins. So he's going to try and get in that win column before this afternoon is over. Let's take a look at the Taco Bell Indians defensive lineup. It looks like this. Crow in left, Brantley in center, Chu is in right. On the infield, Marte gets the start at third. Cabrera is at short. Donald at second. Laporta is at first. Lou Marson is behind the plate. And when you're making a choice for late night, Taco Bell is the late night place to be.
Here are the umpires for today's ballgame. DJ Rayburn calling the balls and strikes. Greg Gibson is at first. Scott Berry at second, and the crew chief, Jerry Davis, down at third. We are just being told now that the Twins did indeed execute a roster move in order to get Orlando Hudson off the DL and onto the roster. Anthony Slamma was sent back down to AAA Rochester. Jason Repko will lead it off for Minnesota. And David Huff's first pitch is up high for ball 1. 84 degrees, our game time temperature today here in downtown Cleveland. It's been just a perfect weekend, huh?
Yes, it really has.
2 balls and a strike to count on Repko, who comes in batting .319. This is his 17th game that he's played in.
Well, Denard Span in the first 2 games looked like he was struggling. He didn't look like the same player to me as far as offensively, so you're going to give him the day off and let the young man play the day game after a night game.
Now the 2-2 fights it off.
You know, you're getting to that point in the year where it's August, and you know it's a grind, and every once in a while, not only physically but mentally, the everyday player needs to get a day off. And they have tomorrow off before they go on to Chicago and play the White Sox to end their long road trip. So, in essence, he'll be getting 2 days off in a row.
Boy, an off day in Chicago.
Or wait, yeah, I think they do go to Chicago.
That could take it out of you right there.
Not if you go out and get a nice dinner at Gibson's.
Extra night in the Windy City. Now the Twins are expected to have Justin Morneau join them in Chicago, go through some workouts, and hopefully get him out on a rehab assignment. You know they'd love to get his bat back in that lineup soon. Tapper slowly hit to third. Andy Marte has to unload in a hurry, and just did get him by a whisker. 1 away. And he had to wait for that ball to hit just beyond the lip of the grass, hit on the dirt. And once he had to wait for that in-between hop, he didn't have time to dawdle.
Boy, oh boy, that's true, but just in time.
And here is Orlando Hudson. The O-Dog was put on the DL, retroactive to July 24th with a right oblique strain. And if I remember right, that was right after we saw them. Fouls this pitch out of play.
Well, he wasted no time. Saw the first pitch, and he was going to get after it.
Yeah, Rick, we played the Twins July 19th, 20th, and 21st. And it was right after that he went on the DL. Ground ball to short. Routine for Asdrubal Cabrera. 2 quick outs here in the first inning. Well, that'll bring up Joe Mauer, who is on quite a tear. He has hits in 4 straight at-bats. And as is usually the case with Joe Mauer, when he gets hot, he stays hot for a while. He's hit in 21 of his last 26 games, and during that time, he's hit at a .385 clip.
Well, you rarely see this guy in a slump because of the swing that he has. There's no moving parts. He's very short, quick to the baseball. And the reason why I think he's been maybe slumping a little bit is because of the shoulder and the injuries.
The 1-0 pitch. Well, you're right about one thing. We rarely ever see him in a slump because he owns a career .343 average against the Indians.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I think he does that just about against everybody.
The 2-0. Just missed. 3 balls and no strikes. Mauer, in addition to his great career batting average numbers against the Tribe, has a career .431 on base percentage. And there's a strike called, 3-1.
You know, when the guy hits .365 and wins a batting side of .343, he's in a slump against your team.
Now the 3-1. Swung on and missed, full count.
Backed off a little bit, a little breaking ball right there, and the 3-1 count to a good hitter.
And the payoff pitch. Fastball hit up the middle. And Joe Mauer doesn't miss many of those. 2-out single keeps the inning alive now for Delman Young.
Well, they came with a 3-1 breaking ball, and then he goes back to the fastball, and this is what happens. Right there, you don't locate it. And Mauer with that short swing stays on it, never pulls it. Just right back up the middle, first hit of the game. 5 consecutive hits for Mauer.
And now here's Delman Young, who, like Mauer, hasn't had many slumps this year. But he's just 1 for 10 in the series coming into today. Fouled out of play.
Minnesota they've been taking charge of the ball game late in the game from innings 6, 7, 8, and 9 where they're hitting .410.
Good fastball up and in, tied him up. It's 0-2. Well, as you said before, good teams separate themselves late in games.
7th inning on, yeah, they have outscored the Indians 10-2 in this series.
In particular, veteran teams.
And this is what Minnesota has, a good veteran team.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, imagine this team. We haven't even mentioned the name Morneau in this lineup, who's the first baseman and was having a phenomenal year. If that guy, you plug him in the middle part of that lineup, what does this guy look like? Hitting around him. And then you have Mauer as well. Terrific lineup.
The 1-2. A little bit outside to even the count. It's a good problem to have, but when Morneau comes back, you figure Michael Kadire goes back to right field, Jason Kubel goes to DH, and then Ron Gardenhire goes back to splitting the at-bats between Kubel and Thome and trying to mix and match those lineups daily, making sure everybody stays sharp.
Yeah, it just strengthens that team so much more. Put in a former MVP.
Now the 3-2. Runner goes, and it's rocketed foul deep down the left side. That almost hit the car. You get that Toyota down there just to the left of the foul pole.
You're going to have to fix that dent if you hit it. They're looking at it.
I'll tell you, if it didn't hit it, it didn't miss by much. Once again, Bauer will take off in the 3-2. Is hit on the ground to third. Marte flips it over, and the inning is over. No runs a hit, one man left aboard. Indians come to bat against lefty Brian Dunsing when we return. Here at Progressive Field, Indians come to bat. Tribe starting lineup presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Michael Brantley is Drupal Cabrera and hot-hitting Shin-Soo Choo. Then it's Shelley Duncan, Matt Laporta, and Andy Marte, followed by Trevor Crow, Jason Donald, and Lou Marson batting ninth.
Brian Dunsing on making his fourth start this year. He's off to a very good start, 4-1, 2.10 ERA. 35 strikeouts, 17 walks. He has never made a start against Cleveland. He has made 4 relief appearances. So he will get his first start. And I'll tell you, this the Minnesota rotation has settled down since this guy's been into the rotation.
Michael Brantley leading off for the Tribe, and he looks at a first pitch strike.
He made his first start July 23rd. And since that time, the Twins starters have gone 9-1, and the team has been 11-4. So it's just been a spot where he's been able to anchor his end to go in there with Pavano.
This is his 13th career start. As a starter, he's 6-1 with a 2.84 ERA. And a breaking ball missed. So it will be interesting to see if he can maintain that kind of consistency as a regular starter as opposed to being a spot guy who bounces back and forth.
Well, I think mentally you feel better because you know you get into a routine, as we hear so many starters talk about. I know I'm going to be out there one every 5 days, and they can get set up and stay into their routine.
The 2-2. Fouled back by Brantley.
And he's a guy that's not overpowering, moves it around, in and out, curveball, changeup.
The 2-2 pitch. And Brantley yanks it down the right field line. Fair ball. Michael's on his way to second base. He's going to make the turn and go for third. Hudson's relay not in time. It's a leadoff triple for Michael Brantley.
Well, that's what you like to see. That ball gets down in the corner. And again, Kubel in right field. You want to keep the pressure on him. That is going to be his first career triple. And boy, you turn and you burn. He hit a breaking ball right down the line. And that's where you have to make that decision. He did peek over at Smitty, Steve Smith, the third base coach. But that's where you make your own. Right there, you take your last peek and go. Leadoff triple.
And the Indians will try to jump on top early as Asdrubal Cabrera steps in. And he chops the first pitch to third. A replay of last night. And he grounds out for out number one.
Let's take a look at the Twins' defense. In the outfield, it's Young, Repko, and Kubo. On the infield, Valencia, Hardy, Hudson, Kadire. Behind the plate, Joe Mauer, the first time he's been back there today. That defense is brought to you by Huntington Bank.
You know, Cabrera really looked up to Victor Martinez when he first came here to the ball club and tried to follow Martinez and do what he did. But Victor, while he was very aggressive in RBI situations, had a lot of success. Here's Shin-Soo Choo driving in Brantley. So he picks up Cabrera with the RBI single, his 53rd run batted in. And the Indians jump on top 1-0.
Well, there you go. Choo takes advantage of it. First pitch fastball. It's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. And both the left-handers have the hits. And coming into today, they were hitting just 145 off Brian Dunsing. But the two lefties, 2 for 2, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead.
Shelley Duncan DHing once again today.
Very quick to the plate. I don't think he'll be running on this guy.
Choo being held at first by Michael Kadire. And Shelley Duncan shoots it out of play. So the leadoff triple by Michael Brantley pays early dividends for the Tribe as they jump on top 1-0. And that's something that the Indians have done a good job of in this series. Their leadoff men are 8 for 16. And now 5 runs scored.
Well, they certainly have had their share of base runners in the series. I mean, they just haven't capitalized on opportunities where they could really put a lot of runs on the board.
Missed inside, 2-2. Well, and that goes back to, Rick, you look at Asdrubal Cabrera, who's by no means a rookie, still a young player, but you know he's got enough big league experience. But not every hitter is ideally geared to be an RBI guy.
Well, that's
some guys
true.
get a little too anxious. Duncan lifts a high fly ball to center. Jason Repko makes the grab, 2 down. Here's our great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. Matt Laporta tied the game with that RBI single right there, plating Jordan Brown. That made it a 2-2 ball game. Relax. You're at Great Clips.
Well, that was a 2-out base hit that we saw Matt get last night. And last night they were 1 for 5 with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. And that's where you have to take advantage of it. And it's a lot of young hitters. Sometimes they just get too aggressive. When that pressure is on the pitcher, make him get in that zone. He's got to throw you more than 1 strike. There's times when you get after it. When you have a history with a pitcher, I think that's when hitters will be aggressive early in the count, but they pretty much know what's coming or how they like to get him out. When you don't know a pitcher, you're better off working him.
Well, for example, I'm just thinking as you were talking, Maglio Ordonez is another guy who we've seen over the years. With nobody on base, he's a very patient hitter. When those runners get on base, and especially in a scoring position, he becomes much more aggressive.
Well, because he's an RBI guy that's earned the right. He's driven in 100 runs, a number of times in the league, and he knows that pitchers want to try and get ahead of him. You know, but he has a history with a lot of those guys.
Laporta hammers it deep to left field. Delman Young watching. Gone to Souvenir City. Matt Laporta's 7th home run of the year. His 2nd home run in the series. It's a 3-run first for the Tribe.
Boy, that ball got out of here in a hurry. Matt Laporta hitting his 7th. Again, here comes Laporta, 2 outs. Watch the swing. Quick hands. You see, that was barely a stride. Do you see how quick his hands were through the zone? And watch his front foot. It just comes down, and that ball got out of here. I mean, in a hurry. He had very good hands in that at-bat.
Looked like a changeup that just stayed up in the strike zone.
Fifth home run that Dunsing has given up.
Andy Marte getting his first action at the plate in the series. And Matt Laporta helping the Indians have that big inning that you were just talking about. They've had innings where they've had opportunities and they've scored one run, but you bunch them together like this, and that.
Well, a lot of time, you can have big innings when you get the home run. You've got to sometimes have innings when you don't hit a home run and you manufacture it.
Andy Marte to center field. Repko has it, and the inning is over. But Matt Laporta's 7th home run of the year has the Indians on top 3-0 in the first. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. By Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Second inning at Progressive Field, Jason Kubel takes a strike over the outside edge. And a strike is called with the off-speed pitch. Jason Kubel's done some damage in this series, 4 for 7 with 2 home runs. Just missed inside with the fastball.
It's the first time this year that Kubel has hit back-to-back home runs in games. Both of them, they were tower shots.
Jason Donald throws out Kubel here, 1 down in inning number 2. Our achievement of the game today is brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever, in us all. And our good friend Bert Blyleven, who is a longtime broadcaster with the Minnesota Twins, of course, pitched for the Tribe and Minnesota and the Angels and the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Texas Rangers. And hopefully, Rick, this winter he'll be a member of baseball's Hall of Fame.
1-0 complete game wins. He has 242 complete games. I think he will. I think he will get in this year. I certainly hope he does because he's certainly deserving of it. Bert is a great guy. Loves a game of baseball.
The 1-1 pitch. It's usually sometime in the winter. Maybe it's January when they announce the inductees for baseball's Hall of Fame. And, of course, the ceremonies are in August. 1-2, missed in off the plate. Last year, Bert Blyleven and Robbie Alomar both finished within 5 votes of being elected. That's how close it was. Ground ball to short. Cabrera takes care of Kadire, 2 down.
Well, you got to like this. All ground ball outs.
Browns Training Camp Daily continues tomorrow night at 10 on STO. Join Jim Donovan, Mary Kay Cabot, and Andre Knott as they provide updates from practice in Berea. For more updates on training camp, follow STO Browns on Twitter. Training Camp Daily tomorrow night at 10 on STO. Twins DH Jim Thome takes a strike. Indians with a 3-man shift on the right side here for Thome.
Jimmy in his only at bat in the series hit a ball, ended up being a double, but he felt, and we do too, that it probably was a home run. They reviewed it, looked at it, inconclusive evidence, and they kept him at second base. But that could have been, what, 578?
Yeah, and when you're chasing a number like 600,
you want
every single one of them.
Yes, you do.
Jim's never hit many wall scrapers in his career.
No.
Usually when he hits them, they're well gone. Think back to the one he hit in Minnesota to right field.
He hit so many. The one he hit here in left center field that went about 500 and some odd feet. He'll be approaching the next RBI 1,600.
And a line drive base hit to left field. A couple of 2-out singles so far today allowed by David Huff. This one keeps the inning alive now for Danny Valencia.
This breaking ball stays up. Not a good pitch. That's why it's easy for him just to slap it the other way. You play him to pull, but when you leave a pitch up in the zone, much easier for the hitter, even if he's fooled on it, to go the other way.
One ball, no strikes to count here on Danny Valencia, who's done a tremendous job for Minnesota, batting .344. Huff with a 1-1, and it's fouled back out of play.
5th straight count that David Huff has been 0-2 or 1-2 to the hitter, so he's being very aggressive this first time through the lineup. And when you look at the numbers for David, that first time through, hitters are hitting just .261. It's the second time through where they make the adjustment. It goes up to .381.
Little tapper back to the mound. Huff will take it, flip it, and the inning is over. We head to the bottom of the second. It's Cleveland 3, Minnesota nothing. Bottom third of the order due up here. Trevor Crowe, Jason Donald, and Lou Marson. Left-hander Brian Dunsing misses up high for ball one. One ball and one strike. Inside out swing. He goes the other way to right field, and the Indians have their leadoff man aboard again. All right, time now for the AT&T trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible. Herb Pennock, one of 3 pitchers to win a game before the age of 20 and after the age of 40. Name the other 2. Here's Jason Donald now. Squares the bunt, bunts it by the mound. Perfectly executed. Hudson with the flip to first, not in time. And now the ball rolls free from Kadire. On his way to third goes Trevor Crowe, and he'll stop there.
That's a beautiful bunt. The push bunt got it by with the pitcher falling over to the third base sign. Gets it hard enough. Hudson tried to make the play. And in that flip, I don't think Kadire could feel that it hits the foot of Jason Donald. It goes a base hit in the air on the flip, I'm sure. See, it was low. And it got by him, and it hit Jason Donald's foot. He wanted to go to second base. I don't think he picked the ball up exactly where it was at, but Crowe goes to third, so it's a hit and an error. And the Indians back in business.
So the Tribe with runners at the corners. And nobody out for Lou Marson.
It's the third error in the last 2 games for Minnesota.
Marson going after the first pitch, fouls it right back. I would assume, though, Rick, that's an error as a manager. You can live with that because it's an aggressive error. You're trying to make a play.
Well, it's just because the guy had to go to third base, and he was trying to get that out. And he just didn't get it out of his glove high enough where Kadire could get it. It stayed down on the ground. It's a tough play, but you're right. It's not a bad error.
The 0-1. Line fouled on the right side. It's 0-2.
You know, if he would have made this play, it would have been a spectacular play. It's just that it didn't come out of the glove the way he thought it was. It rolled off that finger right there, and as when Kadire was going for that stretch, it just wasn't in his neighborhood.
If he makes a Burley flip right there, he got him.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Then that turns out to be the play of the year. We saw it on opening day.
It still is, it's amazing. Now the 0-2.
Yeah, it wasn't a Burley flip.
I was watching, I think it was Baseball Tonight the other day, and they still use the Burley meter as the barometer for great plays.
Well, they may use it for a while because you don't see many like that.
You're right about that one. All right, Marson down on the count of 1-2 strikes. Lays off the high heat. And the count back to even at 2-2.
Indians already with 5 hits in this ball game. We're just in the second inning and still nobody out.
Boy, just missed. Dunsing, he was begging for that one, didn't get the call, and the count goes to full at 3-2 with Michael Brantley on deck. Already 27 pitches for Dunsing. Nobody out here. First and third for the Tribe in the payoff pitch. And Marson shoots it foul out of play again to the right side. Trevor Crowe is the runner at third base with Jason Donald at first.
That maybe throw to first.
Yes, indeed. Nothing doing.
Well, just you figure a full count, maybe they're going to start the runner, but you're certainly not going to start him. He's quick to home plate anyway, and even if Donald does start, you're not going to create a hole, so just leave him there. You don't want to get picked off.
The 3-2. Double play ball to short. Hardy to Hudson to Kadire. A run scores, 4-0 Cleveland, but now there are 2 down. Boy, it's funny. We talk so much about Marson and, his opposite field approach, and he fouled a number of balls off the other way, and then he finally pulls one, and he pulls right on the ground.
You pull the string, and yeah, that happens. A guy made a good pitch. And with his move, it stops you from running, to try and stay out of that double play. So you minimize the damage, and he did right there.
Michael Brantley started this game off for the Indians with a bang, tripling into the right field corner. That led to their first run. Low and away, a ball and a strike. And Brantley socks it to center field. Repko is there to grab it, and the inning is over. But the Tribe tacks on a run through 2, lead it 4-0. Game and see our Miller taste greatness moment. Big fans of the grounds crew. Why not?
Well, it's been a very peaceful weekend for the grounds crew. They haven't had to take that tarp out one time. They've had their share of work here in the last couple of homestands. And they always do a great job.
We always laugh when we go to Toronto as J.J. Hardy drives one to deep right field. Chu backpedaling to grab it. One away. We go to Toronto every year, and the grounds crew there. Now, granted, they don't have a lot to do because, A, they have a roof.
Right.
And, B, all they have is those little cutouts.
Right.
But they spend an inordinate amount of time on that mound and those cutouts.
They sure do. They sure do.
They're the best-looking cutouts in baseball.
Job security for about 20 guys right there. And they have the fastest ground crew coming out to smooth the bases out at about the 5th inning. They're in and out in about 30 seconds, running from the left field fence.
They can do it with a single broom.
They could do it with a toothbrush.
Now the 1-1. And a ground ball in the hole. Marte closes the gap. Throws him out, 2 down.
Well, Rock and Blast, Cleveland's award-winning fireworks and multimedia extravaganza, will return Friday and Saturday of next week. And it's twice the fireworks, music, and excitement with a soundtrack featuring classic rock legends you love. Tickets on sale now. Visit Indians.com or call 216-420-HITS.
Orlando Hudson 0 for 1, grounded to short his first time up. Tommy Boshenik's giving you a little trigonometry question there. The symmetry.
You know what? He's getting ready to go do the game tonight down in Canton.
Oh, is that right?
So he's getting ready for X's and O's. Is what he's getting ready for. He's got his brown shirt on up there. He's doing the Hall of Fame game. He's not part of this team. Didn't you notice something when he was wearing his football helmet to the game today?
I wondered what the chin strap was all about.
He looks good on him.
High pop. Second baseman Donald calling for it. Chu is there. Chu says, out of my way, I'll grab it. And the inning is over. Huff sets him down 1-2-3 for the first time today. Tribe on top 4-0. For the Indians is Dribble Cabrera, Shin-Soo Choo, and Shelley Duncan. Cabrera looks at a ball outside. Two balls, no strikes. First time up with a runner at third. Cabrera trying to get him home. Swung at the first pitch, but banged it right to the third baseman.
Well, he was picked up by his teammate, and that's always a good thing.
And isn't that the way it works? You're up there with a runner at third, and you get a pitch that you think you can do something with. You hit it on the ground, and now you're next at bat. You haven't seen a strike.
Well, no one feels worse than you do when you're in that situation with an opportunity to get it home, but makes you feel so much better when the next guy picks you up.
Now the 3-1 pitch. Full count. Left-hander Brian Dunsing's payoff pitch is fouled out of play. Once again, the 3-2. And Cabrera hits it to third. Valencia throws him out for the second time today. Well, let's have a look at our Subway fresh face of the game. Bo Greenwell. Last night, 4 for 5 with 3 runs batted in and a couple of doubles. Between Lake County and Kinston this year, he's hit .320. Driven in 44, stolen 21. Of course, Bo Greenwell, the son of Mike Greenwell. Shinsu Chua, breaking ball for a strike. Drove in a run his first time up and scored. .41 pitch of the day from Dunsing is another good off-speed delivery.
Well, Chu came out and took advantage of his first fastball, so now he's going to see a few off-speed pitches and breaking balls.
No balls and 2 strikes to count. Feels like it's been a long homestand already for us up here. We're just getting started.
Yes, we are. An off day tomorrow. Come back for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday against the Orioles. And then the weekend, the Seattle Mariners.
The new look Baltimore Orioles under Buck Showalter.
Well, they were beat last night, so that was their first loss.
And Brian Dunsing's 1-2 pitch. Little tapper. The left-hander throws him out, 2 down. Well, let's spin it back to the studios right now for an in-game update. Al has the latest on the senior circuit.
Okay, Matt, yeah, Philadelphia a couple of games behind in the National League East to Atlanta, and they're down early here, too. The Mets get a second run when Ike Davis grounds back to Halladay, can't field it. Pagan scores, 2-0 Mets, second inning in Philly. Back to you.
All right, thanks. Here is Shelley Duncan fly to center his first time up. Pops it up. Shallow right. It's Hudson going out, and he makes the catch in front of Kubel. And the Indians go 1-2-3 for the first time today. 4-zip Tribe as we go to the 4th. David Huff will face Joe Mauer, Delman Young, and Jason Kubel. And Mauer looks at a ball outside. First time up, Huff fell behind Mauer 3-0. Got back into the count, went full, and then challenged him with a 3-2 fastball, and Mauer lined it right back up the middle. Huff just over the 50 pitch mark now in the game. 34 have been strikes, 7 ground ball outs. Two and one to count. There's a drive to center field. Back goes Brantley, still going back. Pulls it down on the warning track. That had some pretty good carry to it. And it's out number one. Offensively, the Twins have swung the bats very well since the All-Star break. They're hitting .321 as a team. That's the highest batting average in Major League Baseball. So you couple that with the fact that they're pitching well, and you see why they're right there near the top of the Central Division standings.
Well, you know it, and it happens every year. It is a team that will never go away. They're definitely in it for the long haul.
You look at the Twins and the White Sox, and across the board, they're pretty evenly matched as far as what they've done at home, on the road. The one glaring difference.
I know what you're going to say, too.
One hop smash to short. It's that interleague stretch. I mean, that's where the White Sox, like the '05 Indians, flipped their whole season around, and they have ridden that. They've been riding that momentum ever since.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But where Chicago's going to have to get better is in the division.
Yeah,
that's where Minnesota has shined, 28-16 in the Central Division. And the White Sox are just 20-21.
By the way, White Sox trail the Orioles 1-0 in the second inning in Baltimore. Jason Kubel grounded to second his first time up. Another high pop. This one shallow left. Cabrera, the shortstop, is there. And he's got it. Another 1-2-3 inning for David Huff. He set down 7 Twins in a row. 4-zip Cleveland, middle of the fourth. liquid. That's one of summer's little delights. 4-zip Indians on top. David Huff, he has really looked sharp here. Matt Laporta has also looked sharp. He had a 2-run homer in the first. And now he's got a line drive single to left. He's 2 for 2. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you today from Progressive Field. Indians on top 4-zip, batting in the home half of the 4th inning. Glad you could be with us on this Sunday afternoon. Brian Dunsing delivers and Andy Marte takes a strike. Do you know where you were on this date in 1975?
August 8th? No, I don't know where I was last year, let alone 1975. I do not. August 8th? No.
Here's a ground ball up the middle. Diving stop by Hardy. Flips to second, and they got him. Boy, it looked like Laporta had a great chance to beat it. But on the slide, he is punched out by second base umpire Scott Berry. Close play.
Well, it was a great play by Hardy, and, you know, the speed of Laporta, I thought he was going to get in there, but I don't think the slide was very good. He didn't go straight into the bag. Watch how his leg folds. He knocks it down, and then he has a problem getting it out, but where's Laporta? Here he comes. Watch his leg. It's bending.
Right.
You got to go straight in. He went with his back leg, not his front leg, to do a pop-up slide. Not a very good slide there, or he might have had a base hit for Marte.
And not an easy call for Scott Berry because Hardy flipped a changeup, it looked like.
Yeah, he had a tough time getting
it out
on
of
the
his
transfer.
glove. Now here's Trevor Crowe, singled and scored his first time up. Well, there's an odd method to my madness. The reason I'm bringing this up.
I had a feeling there would be.
And only you will appreciate. The folks at home are going to think, these guys really are off the rocker. But on this date, 1975, you were at home, facing the Kansas City Royals. 2-2 game, bottom of the 8th inning. Crowe with a base hit up the middle into center field. And Andy Marte will stop at second base.
Crowe is now 2 for 2.
Yeah, 2 hits in the inning for the Tribe, and they got something rolling here with Jason Donald coming to the plate. So 2-2, bottom of the 8th. Rico Carty singles, chasing Marty Patton, the Royals starter that day. On comes Doug Bird. Up comes Oscar Gamble, who hits a 2-run homer. Flips the game, and the Tribe goes on to win it. You went 1 for 4 that day. You were hitting .303 in your rookie campaign.
Okay. How did that come about?
But the 13th most popular song in America on this date in 1975, and this is why it came up. I was driving in today. Heard a little old Casey Kasem throwback. Mike Post, The Rockford Files. The theme song to The Rockford Files was the 13th most popular song in America on this date in 1975.
Jim Rockford.
That's your favorite show of all time, I think.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I used to have my cell phone ring to The Rockford Files.
Took a while to get there, but Donald pops one in the air. Right field coming in is Kubel. He'll grab it. Runners retreat. 2 down.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I can't top that. Wahoo Women is an exclusive pregame event that'll take place Tuesday featuring health screenings, product samplings, a fashion show, drink specials, and your ticket includes access to the event and the Indians-Orioles game also at 7:05, as well as limited edition T-shirt and a donation to the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women campaign.
With the win that day, you guys got to 51 and 59 on the year.
We ended up right around the 500 mark, I think.
Pitch to Lou Marson.
The big man, Rico.
Pops it up. Foul, and this will find the seats. The guy who got the win that day, I looked it up. Not somebody I remember. I think he only spent a brief time with the Indians. Rorick Harrison.
Yeah, he came from the Dodgers, a right-handed pitcher.
He
wasn't here long.
Dave LaRoche got his 10th save that day.
Yeah. These two boys playing in the big leagues now, yeah. Jeff Torborg was on that staff. Harvey Haddix.
The 0-1 pitch. Now, how often did you guys wear the all-red unis? Did you wear them all season, or did you mix and match with the white pants?
I think they were mixed and matched, but they were around for a while. I seriously, I don't remember how many times we wore them, or it was just on the weekends. It wasn't like that.
1-1 pitch. Fouled back. You didn't wear them every day, though, at home, the all reds did. Did you remember?
I don't remember.
They were bold.
Bright.
They were bold.
Yes, they were.
Here's the set now by Dunsing in the 1-2 pitch. Marson shoots it back out of play. Four-zip, Tribe on top. 3 in the first. They added 1 in the second. Threatening here in the fourth with 2 down. Dunsing stepped off with Andy Marte dancing off the bag at
Well, I
second.
think Hudson was sort of trying to come in a little bit, and then he broke back to second base, and that's why he stepped off. He wanted to wait for him to get in a position. With 2 outs, normally those infielders go back.
That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Lou had the same kind of at-bat in his first at-bat before
Sure
he
did.
grounded into the double play. He was down in the count, worked it full, fouled off some pitches.
Dunsing's 2-2. Again. Back out of play. Joe Mauer's going to go out to talk with the Twins left-hander. Normally when you get a hitter like this, 2 straight at bats where he's continuing to foul pitches off, might want to try a different strategy.
Well, Lou has had 13 pitches in his 2 at-bats. Time to send out some birthdays then to Phyllis Johnson of Butler, Ohio. 84 today. Phyllis, happy birthday. Marianne O'Hare of Hermitage, PA, turning 80. Ted Snyder of Talmadge is 77. Happy birthday to you 3. And Jeremy and Tashani Scott of Brooklyn celebrating their 1st anniversary.
There's a ground ball to short. Fielded by Hardy. Goes to second for the inning-ending force. No runs, 2 hits. 2 men left aboard. We go to the 5th, 4-0 Cleveland. now available in wild berry and strawberry banana flavors. By KeyBank. Stop in and start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's, now open in Chagrin Falls, Solon, and Brunswick. Visit paninisgrill.com. It's a 4-zip Indians lead as we go to the 5th inning here at Progressive Field. Michael Kadire, Jim Thome, and Danny Valencia will bat here for the Twins. David Huff pitching well. This is his 60th toss of the afternoon, and he's been very efficient.
Well, yeah, the first 2 innings were 40 pitches. The last 2, just 19.
Breaking ball up high. The 1-1. Just missed, 2 balls and a strike. Add to your birthday list there that you rattled off last half inning. Got one special birthday wish today. Carrie McCalla is celebrating her 26th birthday today with friends and family in Columbus, Ohio. So happy birthday, Carrie.
I've got one to add to that as well.
The 3-1. And Kadire will take his base. That's first walk issued by Huff, and it snaps a string of 7 in a row that he had retired.
Got Mark Koha, who is our man in tape at Channel 3. Mark, happy birthday, pal. I wonder what he's going to do today or tonight with an off day tomorrow.
I'm assuming it involves heavy metal.
Well, that means Murph will be with him.
Jim Thome straightened up by a fastball from Huff. Thome lined a ball to left field his first time to the plate today. He's 2 for 2 in the series.
I think that's why maybe David came in on that first pitch, because what Thome hit was a hanging breaking ball that he slapped the other way.
There's a drive deep right field, and forget about that one. Way out of here. Home run number 578 in the career of Jim Thome. And that gets the Twins on the board. It's now a 4-2 ball game.
Well, there was no doubt about that one. Up with the fastball in. And Thome says, hit the breaking ball away, went to left field, and then he backed him off the plate and tried to go back in there. You can't do that. Twins are now on the board. They cut it in half. It's a 4-2 ball game.
The 185th of Thome's career in this ballpark. And now Danny Valencia yanks it foul down the left side. Talking earlier about that home run he hit in Minnesota this year. That was off Jensen Lewis back on July 19th. That was number 575. Strike 3 call. That's the first out here in the 5th inning and the first strikeout today for David Huff. Here's our Miller Taste Greatness moment. And in case you missed it, Kenny Lofton was inducted into the Cleveland Indians Baseball Hall of Fame yesterday in a pregame ceremony. He was joined on the field by a number of his former teammates, his former manager, all current Indians Hall of Fame members, Sandy Alomar, Charlie Nagy, Mike Hargrove. It was a great moment. Second home run this year that Thome has hit off David Huff, by the way.
And that guy that just hit the home run will be in this Hall of Fame when he's done playing.
I wonder how much longer he'll continue to play.
He wants 600. There's no doubt that's his goal. You know what? And I think if it was up to Jimmy, he would hit number 600, be met at home plate with his kids, and take off and say, I'll see you guys later, right off into the sunset. That would be just fine for him. But, you know, as you mentioned, not getting the at-bats, I mean, they're hard to come by.
Fouled into the dirt. Well, here's the other thing,
22 more to go. Could have been 21.
He's not getting a lot of at-bats, and yet already in this series, he had a pinch hit that, was or was not a homer.
Right.
And he has 3 at-bats in the series, and he smoked 2 of them. So it's obviously still there. This isn't Sammy Sosa at the end of his career, who was somewhat pathetic.
What we saw in Baltimore.
Yeah, he was
trying to. No, Jimmy, you give him his at-bats at the right time and at the right place, and I think he'll be just fine.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Cabrera tried to short hop it, couldn't do it. And J.J. Hardy has an infield hit. So 1 on 1 out now, top of the order.
Well, Cabrera tried the old scoop and throw all in one motion, knowing that it's over the head. He's going to have to do it quickly. He just didn't catch it. That'll go as a base hit.
Jason Repko twice as grounded to third here today. And there's a hot shot down the third baseline into the corner. Crow quickly digs it out. Hardy will stop at third. Into second with a double is Jason Repko.
Well, he topped a couple balls in his first at-bat that were to third base, but this time he leveled it. And, I mean, he got it and right over the bag. Looked like a changeup down that had middle of the plate. And we mentioned that second time through, normally hitters, start taking advantage of David. Now they're going through the third time, and out comes Tim Belcher. Twins have second and third and 1 out. And base hit, chance to tie this ball game up.
And we're getting activity in the Indians' bullpen right now as we speak.
Well, it's Budweiser 2 for Tuesday when the Indians take on the Orioles Tuesday night. You get 2 tickets in the bleachers and $20 in ticket plus food credit for only $32. A savings of $28. Stop by any Indians team shop or visit Indians.com for the tickets.
So the Twins threatening to come back and tie this thing up now. Runners at second and third with only 1 out. Orlando Hudson 0 for 2 is the batter. Hudson is grounded to short, and he has flied to right. Grounded foul. Huff ready now, the set. And the 1-1 pitch to Hudson. And there's a line drive base hit in the alley. That's going to get 2 home, and the Twins will tie the game. And Hudson is all the way into second base. So the Twins really teeing off here on Huff in the 5th inning. 3 straight hits, 4 in the inning, and 4 runs home.
Yeah, and after a 19-pitch 3rd and 4th inning, let's see the location. That's up, out over the plate. And Hudson stays on it, gets his 28th, 29th RBIs, and the Twins put a big 4 spot on the board. And they're not done yet because he's got Mauer and Young coming to the plate.
Five-star league leaders brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And Joe Mauer looks at a ball down low. He flied to center his last time up. That finally snapped a string of 5 straight hits in this series for Mauer. over the outside corner. He gets the strike call to even the count. Cabrera had moved in behind the runner Hudson at second base, but no throw was made by Huff. That's the go-ahead run now for Minnesota. Still only one out. Seventh man to bat in the inning is Joe Mauer. And it gets away from Marson, and now down to third goes Hudson. First wild pitch of the day for the Indians.
Little breaking ball, and Marson tried to keep it in front of him. Deflects off to the side. Wild pitch. Second of the year for Huff. Now they got to bring the infield in.
Huff ready with the 2-1. And Mauer shoots it out of play. That'll even the count. There is Justin Germano warming in the Tribe pen. Looks like he's ready to go. This might very well be the final hitter of the game for David Huff, unless he can somehow get Mauer. The 2-2. Fights it off. It's been a 25-pitch inning for David Huff here in the fifth. It's amazing how that can happen, though. To pitchers, you're cruising along, you set them down 1, 2, 3 a couple of times, and then bang.
And then there was the leadoff walk in this inning, and then a long ball. Next thing you know, now you're scuffling. Came back to get the strikeout, but they've been able to string 3 straight hits.
Now the count is full to Mauer. Tomey's 578th career home run got the Twins on the board, but they didn't stop there. Sometimes the homer can be a rally killer. In this case, it simply has ignited them. And the 3-2 pitch. Oh, close, didn't get the call, and now Mauer draws the walk. First and third, and that's going to be it for Huff.
Tried to go inside with the heater. In off the plate. It was close, though.
Now, David Huff will depart with Twins at first and third and one out here in the fifth inning. And a brand new ball game all knotted up at 4 apiece. in this fifth inning. And this pitching change is brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Justin Germano on for the fourth time this year. He struck out 6. He's only walked 1. And he'll be facing Delman Young, who is 0 for 2 here today. David Huff just lost it, man. He was rolling. First 4 innings, he made a total of 59 pitches. 27 here in the fifth, 13 of them out of the zone.
Well, that's what I was telling you. That third and fourth inning, just 19 pitches. And whatever happened in the fifth, it happened in a hurry. Now the Twins with an opportunity to take the lead. Huff leaves with 2 runners on base that are his responsibility.
And a first pitch strike to Delman Young. And the 0-1 is grounded to third. Marte bobbles the ball. They get the force at second base, but the Twins get the go-ahead run across. Boy, that was an inning-ending double play right there. But Marte couldn't come up with it cleanly. And Minnesota takes advantage to push across the go-ahead run. 5-4 Twins.
You know, maybe just tried to hurry it a little bit. Trying to get it there. It is a double play, and that ball jumped up on him just at the end where he didn't get it cleanly enough. But they do get the lead runner going into second base, and the Twins take a 5-4 lead.
They've batted around here in the fifth. Jason Kubel 0 for 2, the 9th man to bat in the inning. And looks at a strike. Swung on and missed, 0-2 the count.
You know, in this series, it's usually from the 6th inning on where Minnesota has outscored the Tribe, but they started in the 5th today with that 5 spot.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Germano gets out of the inning, but the Twins take the lead. 5-run fifth. They're up a run. They batted around in the fifth. They'll score 5 times and take the lead. Top of the order due up here for the Tribe. Brian Dunsing misses up high for ball 1. When leading off an inning in this series, Indians hitters have gone 10 for 19, drawing 3 walks, scoring 6 runs.
Well, they could use the leadoff man here and see if they can answer that 5-run 5th inning by the Twins.
And a strike from Brian Dunsing. 2-1 to count. Missed inside, 3-1. There's Dribble Cabrera waiting on deck. And then Shin-Soo Choo due up here in the 5th inning. Dunsing's 3-1. And it's blooped in the shallow center. Dropping Hudson going out. He makes the running catch. And that is out number 1. This game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Matt Laporta with a 2-run homer, part of a 3-run first for the Tribe. But Minnesota would bat around in the 5th. Orlando Hudson with a 2-run double to tie the game at 4. And on the fielder's choice, Minnesota would take the lead. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. And a ring up is Dribble Cabrera, who is 0 for 2. Brian Dunsing grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and went on to pitch for the Cornhuskers. Ground ball to short. J.J. Hardy throws out Cabrera, 2 down. Back to the studios we go. Another in-game update and another National League report from Al Pulowski.
All right, Matt, let's head down to Atlanta where the Braves were trailing San Francisco 1-0. But here a home run by David Ross, just his first this year and first since last September, puts Atlanta ahead. It's 3-1 now, 3rd inning. Back to you, Matt.
5-4, Twins lead it with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Shin-Soo Choo 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a run scored. One and one. Brian Dunsing pitched 3 years at the University of Nebraska. He went 17-2 for the Cornhuskers. And while he was there, he was teammates with both Jabba Chamberlain and Alex Gordon.
I'll be darned. You know, you think of Nebraska and it's all football there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Cornhuskers, your boys out there now, the head coach. They're coming into what, the Big Ten next year?
Yes, that is right. Yeah, it'll be a new look Big Ten with Nebraska joining the ranks. The 1-2. Oh, the breaking ball sailed over the head of Choo.
Well, that's one there where you really try and slow it down, but what happens, it slips out of your hand and it hangs up there. Choo able to get down.
Swung on and missed. And Brian Dunsing keeps the momentum on the side of the Twins through 5. They lead it 5-4. Your Life Women's Multivitamin, 90 count for $6.99 at any Northeast Ohio Mark's location.
So come into your nearest Mark's, where you'll find a huge selection at low prices every day.
"5-4, Twins now lead it. And Michael Kadire will lead off the 6th inning, just as he led off the 5th. A bouncing foul ball finds its way into the front row. Well, Tapper stays in the box foul. Justin Germano, who was originally a San Diego Padre, drafted in the 13th round back in 2000. Bounced around a little bit in his career with the Reds and the Phillies. Spent a year in Japan last year. Signed with the Indians, though, in March. Ground ball to third. There is Andy Marte. And he throws out Kadire, one away.
Well, we would like you to fill a house for the United Way of Greater Cleveland. That'll be Wednesday. Baltimore Orioles are in town. That ball game starts at 7:05. For every ticket sold, $1 will be donated to the charity. Call 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com for your tickets.
You know, the good news for a guy like Justin Germano, and it hasn't been easy for him, obviously. I mean, he's toiled in the minor leagues. I told you he went to Japan. He's bounced around. But he obviously had a lot of faith and determination. But he's been pretty fortunate in terms of injuries, you know, because so many of these guys, the first thing I look at, well, you know, how many times have they had surgery? How many times have they had shoulder, elbow issues? He's never really had anything along those lines. But listen to this, and this is just one of those odd deals. Back in 2007, he was waiting in the on-deck circle to hit, and Hiram Bocachica fouled a ball off and hit him right on the knee while he was in the on-deck circle.
I remember that Bocachica guy, an outfielder. And he had to miss some time?
Yeah. I don't know how much. He stayed in the game for the next inning, but then he had to be taken out. But you're thinking as a pitcher, the last thing in the world that's going to happen to you is you're in the on-deck circles. There's a place where you're going to get hurt. 1 on, 1 out as Jim Thome draws the walk.
Trying to think, what league was he hitting in?
Well, it might have been when he was with the Padres. I don't have it exactly.
All right, it might have been then. Because Bocachica was there. I was going to say it had to be a National League then.
Yeah, he was with the Padres in 07. Let me see, Rick. June. Yeah, it was probably with the Padres. He also spent part of that year in Portland in the PCL, but don't they use the DH in the PCL?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so it had to be with the Padres. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled back. Danny Valencia 0 for 2. He has struck out, grounded out. There's a fly ball to left field. Coming hard is Trevor Crow, and he'll get there to make the catch. 2 down. Back to first goes Jim Thome. We're back on Channel 3 next Sunday for more Indians baseball. Join us when the Tribe slugs it out with Seattle Indians Mariners next Sunday at 1 right here on Channel 3. Missed in off the plate. J.J. Hardy with an infield hit and scored a run in the 5th. Two balls, no strikes. Germano's 20th pitch since he came into the game is hammered to deep center. Brantley back, turned him around, makes the grab. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-4 Minnesota. As we go now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Shelley Duncan looks at a ball outside. Duncan lifts the fly ball. Routine to center field. Jason Repko has it. One away. Here's the answer to our AT&T trivia question. AT&T, rethink possible. Well, we'll have to wait on that. We'll just, a little suspense.
No problem. I still forgot about our trivia question.
Whoever won a game before they were 20 and then after they were 40.
Okay.
I think there were 2. Is that what they said?
Two besides the gentleman's name they had.
Yeah, Herb Pennock was one of them, and then there were 2 other ones. In for a strike to Laporta, 1-1. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays started the day a game and a half out of first in the AL East, and both Jeff Neiman and Wade Davis, 2 of their pitchers, have left the team to go get their shoulders examined.
Ooh.
They returned home to Florida. The team's in Toronto, and they're being no-hit again. Ball came out of the glove of the first baseman, Kadire, and Laporta will be safe at first. That was an odd play all the way around.
2 chances to get him. After he thought he was going to catch it in the air, it comes out. Then Hardy gets it all the way to first base, and Kadyr's on the bag and doesn't hold on to it. The ball pops out. See, that was in between there. He makes the throw, could have had him here again. And there's the stretch off the end of the glove. He comes off the bag and doesn't catch the ball, and Laporte is safe. They give him a hit.
One on, one out for Andy Marte, who is 0 for 2. Brandon Morrow is the latest pitcher to have mastered the Blue Jays. And granted, they're only through 7 innings, but Brandon Morrow, they're not through 7. 6 in the third innings. He's got a no-hitter with 12 strikeouts.
I was going to say they're only through 7. 7's a pretty good job to throw a no-hitter, but he's almost there, you say.
6 in the third innings, no hits, 12 strikeouts.
Well, the kid's, if he's on his game, he's got the ability. Got good stuff.
Crawford has punched out 3 times. Reed Brignac twice. Ben Zobrist twice. But wouldn't that be something?
It'd be scary.
Tampa was involved in another no-hit game. The 0-1 pitch. Down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Andy Marte 0 for 2. Fly to center in the first inning. And he grounded the ball to short into a fielder's choice in the 4th. A left-hander with a 1-1. Fouled right back. Dunsing taking a long time, steps off. This will be his 80th pitch of the day. And it's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Marte with Trevor Crow on deck, and Crow is 2 for 2 with 2 singles.
Yeah, he's trying to get Marte to go out of the zone and swing. Now he gets the count back to even.
He missed down low, and the count has now gone full. Laporta being held at first by Kadir. He's not going anywhere. And the 3-2 fouled back out of play. Dunsing's 3-2 pitch. Oh, a delayed strike 3 call by DJ Rayburn.
Only the 2nd strikeout.
2 down in the inning. All right, who's won a game before 20 and after 40?
I think that's a clue.
Bert Blyleven be one of them. Mike Morgan is the other. a well-traveled Mike Morgan. Trevor Crowe, a couple of hits on the day, takes a strike. He singled and scored in the second. And then he had a base hit in the fourth inning, and that was an opportunity. The Tribe had a couple on with only one out, but was unable to push anything across.
You know, this is the guy, Brian Dunsing, has made the adjustment going through that lineup the second and third times, where David couldn't do it. This guy has been able to do it. After the way he started out, they scored 3 in the first and 1 in the second, but he settled down here.
And a ground ball single into right field. Trevor Crowe is 3 for 3. Laporta stops at second base.
You know, from the right side, he was hitting 100 points less from that side of plate, but he's gone the other way with it. Once up the middle, twice the other way. So he stayed on the baseball, and he's rewarded with 3 singles. Stay on it. That was a good swing. He's looking right down the line, keeps the head in, and goes to right field. So the Indians now with 9 hits, and Crowe has 3 of them. And so does Laporta. So those two guys have 6 of the 9 hits.
Let's get the latest update from Toronto with Al Pulaski and see how Tampa is doing. See if they've managed to hit yet in that game.
Matt, they sure have, and it's still 1-0 Toronto. Brandon Morrow now is through 7 innings, and of the 21 outs that he's recorded, 14 of them are by strikeouts. How about that? Back to you at Progressive Field.
It was a perfect game. It's no longer perfect as Dan Johnson reached on an error in that 7th inning.
Oh, is that right? By who?
Lyle Overbay, first baseman. But he still got the no-no intact. He must be pretty razor sharp. 14 strikeouts.
Well, in that case, it's almost like he's striking everybody out, and they must be shocked. You get a ball out in the field, you're going, oh, my goodness, what's this?
Yeah, good point. Crawford struck out, Longoria struck out, Joyce struck out in the 7th inning with the error mixed in between.
That's too bad.
All right, so here we go. 2 on, 2 out. Jason Donald 1 for 2, looks at a ball up high. White Sox and Orioles still tied at 1. They're in the 6th inning in Baltimore. And the 1-0 pitch. Donald, a ground ball to short. Hardy with the flip. And it was close. And second base umpire Scott Berry punches out Trevor Crowe to end the inning. 6 complete. It's still 5-4 Minnesota.
Find out more of what's possible at ATT.com. AT&T, rethink possible. By the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's.
Boy, just seeing that Wendy's logo, getting a little hungry. Had a chance to see Zane Gross before the ball game. He's down in the STO suite today. He's an owner-operator of 14 Wendy's stores in north central Ohio. Well, the Wendy's owner-operators being entertained down there today. We certainly welcome them and thank them for their sponsorship of Indians baseball here on Sports Time Ohio.
I smell a triple coming your way after the game. on the ride home, put a bib on.
And a Frosty. There's a strike call to Jason Repko, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Two and two the count. Left-hander Rafael Perez loosening once again in the tribe pin. Justin Germano came on, got the last 2 outs in the 5th, and worked a scoreless 6th inning as well. Tribe down 5-4 here in the 7th. Checked on a ball that was a little bit high. Full count. Orlando Hudson waiting on deck.
Ooh, got him. Trying to go inside. It looked like it came off his hand.
Manny Acta is going to come out and argue that maybe he swung at the pitch. He's going to ask the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn. Let's see. Nope. It's going to stand as is. Let's pause and let stations identify themselves. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you here today at Progressive Field, where the Twins trailed 4-0 before they batted around in the 5th, scoring 5 times to take the lead. Hudson trying to take it with him. Germano off the mound made a nice grab. And the flip to first for the sacrifice.
That thing had a little spin to it, you know. It checked up on the grass and enabled. I thought it was hard enough at first, but Germano goes over, makes a nice play. It'll go as a sacrifice.
Meanwhile, Manny Acta is going to make a move here. Justin Germano has given him 2 innings of very solid relief work, but with a runner at second base and 1 out. And the left-handed hitting Joe Mauer coming up. He'll go to Rafael Perez. We've got a timeout with our score, Minnesota 5, Cleveland 4.
7th. And if you want to celebrate the dog days of summer with the Dollar Dog Night, that'll be Thursday. Tribe will take on the Baltimore Orioles. That ball game is at 7:05. Come on down early, watch batting practice, and enjoy hot dogs for $1 all night long.
Left-hander Rafael Perez for the 49th time this year. 3 wins, no losses, ERA 3.66. He has struck out 25, walked 17, and 39 in the third innings of work. He'll face Joe Mauer, who is 1 for 2 with a walk. And a big insurance run out there right now for Minnesota at second base. And this is that point in the game where Minnesota has really dominated in this series.
Well, this is where, the bullpen, you have to keep it right where it is at. They were 4-run lead, evaporated. They threw 5 on in 1 inning, and I'll tell you what, Germano did a nice job in his 2 innings of work.
Yep.
Now it's time for Perez to pick him up.
First pitch strike to Mauer. Twins have outscored the Indians 10-2 from the 7th inning on, so really imperative that the bullpen throw up some zeros here today and give that offense a chance. Tried to hold up, but he went around. Jerry Davis agrees. It's 0-2.
He went. Absolutely.
There's a ball fouled out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. With a runner at second and 1 down here in the 7th. Baltimore's now gone ahead of Chicago 3-1 at Camden Yards. The Twins see that and they might perk up a little. There's a swing and a miss. Struck him out, 2 down. Rafael Perez taking care of Joe Mauer.
Perez comes back and makes a good pitch here to Mauer. Looks like that breaking ball down and away. Gets him to chase it. Good pitch. Gets the second out. Now you got to be careful here. You've got the left-hander on deck in Jason Kubel. And this is a guy that's having a good year, although he hasn't done a whole lot in the series. He has an RBI today. But this is where you pitch carefully with first base open.
A little bit high for ball 1. Well, Browns preseason football will be returning to Channel 3 on Saturday. Get your first look at new quarterback Jake Delhomme and all the Browns draft picks as they take on Green Bay at Lambeau Field. Browns-Packers Saturday at 8 only on Channel 3, your official Cleveland Browns station. Delvin Young with a fly ball to center. Michael Brantley is there. And a good job out of the bullpen by Rafael Perez. Stretch time in Cleveland. 5-4 Minnesota. Panini's, home of the overstuffed sandwich, now with 3 new locations, open in Chagrin Falls, Solon, and Brunswick. Coming soon to Twinsburg. Log on to paninisgrill.com for a list of all their locations.
Well, Brian Dunsing's still on in this ball game, and he's only made 3 starts. This is his 4th, and 6 innings is the most he's gone in any start. He went 6 innings in his last 2 starts, 1 against Tampa Bay, 1 against Kansas City. So he just gets an out here. It'll be this longest start, and the way he started out, you wouldn't think he'd be out there in the 7th inning.
Lou Marson 0 for 2 will lead it off for the Tribe. Marson, 1 for 6 in the series. Takes a strike. 1-1 the count. And the 1-1 is hit high in the air on the infield. The shortstop, J.J. Hardy, makes the grab, 1 away. Hey, there are a number of ways to experience Cleveland Browns football at the stadium this season, whether you're looking for season tickets, group tickets, premium hospitality, or luxury suites. The Browns can help you get in the game. Just call 440-824-3434 or visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets. Michael Brantley 1 for 3. His triple to start the game led to a 3-run first inning for the Tribe. They added 1 in the second, but they have not scored since. Meanwhile, Minnesota came back with a 5-run 5th to take the lead.
Well, since that second inning, Matt, they have 4 hits. 2 by Laporta and 2 by Crow. And both those guys are 3 for 3 today.
Brantley with a ground ball to short. Hardy throws it over, 2 down. That's Dribble Cabrera 0 for 3. All 3 times he's grounded out, all 3 times to the left side of the infield. Twice to the third baseman, once to the shortstop. Dunsing about to make his 95th pitch of the afternoon. The left-hander's 0-1 is fouled out of play. Brandon Morrow will take a no-hitter into the 9th inning for the Blue Jays against the Tampa Bay Rays today. He struck out 2 more, so that gives him 16 punch-outs going into the 9th inning. Now the 1-2 pitch. So whether he gets it or not, that's still quite a story when you're looking at it from the Tampa Bay perspective.
Well, as you're looking at it as a baseball perspective.
2-2.
They have been no hit. Oh, there it is. A breaking ball, strike 3.
That's 3 Ks for Dunsing. He retires the side in order. And through 7, it remains 5-4 Minnesota. Indians as we go down to the 8th inning here at Progressive Field.
I'll bet she's going to run the bases after the game.
Rafael Perez got the last 2 outs of the 7th. He stays on to face Jason Kubel here in the 8th. Pop foul out of play. Fouled out of play once again. Jason Kubel 0 for 3 today, but 4 for 10 in the series with a couple of home runs. Baltimore, by the way, still leading Chicago 3-1. They're in the 7th at Camden Yards. The 0-2 is outside. Both Chicago and Minnesota have won 7 of their last 10. And they will meet 6 times in the next week. They'll play 3 times starting Tuesday night in Chicago and then 3 more times the following week in Minnesota. Broken bat, bouncer to short. Cabrera throws out Kubel, 1 down. The batter now is Michael Kadire, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Sitting on 199 career doubles. Trying to become the 10th Twin to have 200 doubles. He has over 900 career hits. And takes a strike here to even the count at 1-1. Kadire's reached base safely 30 times in his last 32 games.
He used to be the right-hander you'd separate Mauer and Morneau with a couple of years ago. But not only do you have him now, you've got Delman Young, another right-hander. So they've got a pretty balanced lineup when you look at it, top to bottom, when healthy.
And they're hoping to get healthier here in the near future. If you missed it earlier, Justin Morneau is scheduled to join the team in Chicago. He'll work out there, and they hope to get him out on a rehab assignment soon.
Well, something that, you know, when you have a concussion, and he had one before, and this was a concussion. He was kneed in the head at second base by John McDonald.
Yeah, inadvertently, but
right.
Yeah, trying to break up a double play. Yeah.
So he has been off for quite some time, and you just don't take chances with that.
But you figure if he gets the green light for the rehab, he'll need, what you suppose, 4 or 5 games worth of at bats to probably get his timing.
I don't know. Yeah, it all depends on, you know, if he's able to just swing the bat or do anything now.
Yeah.
While he's out.
But I mean, assuming there are no after effects from the concussion, what would you guess it takes you?
Shouldn't be many.
3-4 games?
Not even. 4
bats a game?
You know, I guess it changes with the individual on how comfortable you feel.
But I guess Twins have to be looking at it. You know, best case scenario, he'll be ready when they return home to face the White Sox for that big 3-game series in Minnesota next week.
You know, we've seen it. We've seen the Chew go on the DL, come off, and he went right back in there and didn't miss a beat, although he wasn't on quite as long as what Morneau's been on.
And like you say, with a concussion, you just never know what the after effects, the lingering effects.
Well, knowing Justin Morneau, I don't think it would take him long.
As dribble Cabrera. Throws out Kadire, 2 down. That'll bring up Jim Thome. He has singled, hit a 2-run homer, and walked so far here today. 578th career home run. You know, you were talking earlier about the Indians Hall of Fame. And Rick, you're talking about a guy who's closing in on 600 career home runs. And even though he has played during the steroid era, you have never heard even a hint of an accusation pointed in his direction. So I would have to assume that makes him a surefire Cooperstown Hall of Fame.
I would agree with you 100%. That's a lot of home runs. His first year was, 1991 here in Cleveland. And didn't stay originally, went back down before he came back up. And when he first started, and he was in the A-ball, or the minor leagues, when Charlie Manuel had him down there. Charlie tells the story, he barely could hit the ball past third base, let alone be a pull hitter. And by no means is he a pull hitter, because he can hit it out of any part of the ballpark, and has been able to his whole career.
But you think of him in his early days as a high-average guy who would use the whole field.
Well, he was disciplined. He'd take the walk. You know, he had always a great on-base percentage because he wouldn't go outside the strike zone.
Yeah.
Very disciplined. I mean, think about how many times he laid off pitches, and, you never know. I mean, he's got 1,650-plus career walks.
Just went over the 1,600 RBI mark today.
When you look at this guy, over 400 on base percentage. There's no question about it. That's Hall of Fame.
When he was a little kid, his dad used to tell the story that they went to Wrigley Field one time, and little Jim, it's hard to think of him being little. Little Jim ran down to the dugout to meet his hero, Dave Kingman. Hopped into the dugout to meet Dave Kingman.
To get an autograph.
Little could anyone have imagined at that time that little Jim would grow up and hit even more prodigious home runs that Dave Kingman once hit. Thome grounds out and the inning is over. Rafael Perez has retired all 5 that he has faced. Let's see if the Tribe bats can get it going. Bottom of the 8th coming up. to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Brian Dunsing will stay on for the Twins. His next pitch will be number 100 of the afternoon. But he retired on 1-2-3 in the 7th inning. There is activity, I believe, in the Minnesota bullpen.
Oh, yeah, I would think there has to be. I don't know if he's on just to face this one hitter with Chu, but, you know, the first time through the lineup, the Indians were 5 for 9. And since that point, 4 for 20. So he has made the adjustment. I don't know if the command his first time through bothered him, but whatever adjustment he made, he did it well.
Chu, a swing and a miss. And the count 0-2. 17 of 30 first pitch strikes today for Brian Dunsing. He's been really a model of efficiency. A rough first inning, but he survived. And the offensively for the Twins, they were able to bounce back and get in the lead. One ball and two strikes.
He's had really good command with his off-speed pitches, the breaking ball, the changeup. He spotted the fastball, you know, to some of the right-handers and really attacked him with that changeup.
Chu really got jammed, rolls it to second. Hudson has to hurry, and he just does flip it to first in time to get Chu. One down for Shelley Duncan.
Yeah, here comes Gardenhire. That's it. He stayed on for that left-hander, and this is his longest outing of the year in start number 4. 7 1/3 innings.
So Matt Guerrero will be coming on for Minnesota. High fives all around for Brian Dunsing, who goes 7 1/3 here today, and he'll leave with the lead. And Minnesota goes to the bullpen. Matt Guerrero. He was the loser in the series opener when he gave up the game-winning home run to Matt Laporta. He'll face Shelley Duncan and Matt Laporta here in the 8th. With one out, Duncan 0 for 3 steps in. Pops the first pitch up right at home plate. Mauer ditches the mask, makes the grab. 2 away. Back on Friday night. Oh, this was earlier in the game.
That was a 2-runner back in the first inning. His 7th of the year. That made it 3-0 at that point. But then the guy, Brian Dunsing, settled in.
Friday night, Laporta homered off Matt Guerrier to win the game. Laporta hit a fastball into the bleachers. And left center. 1-1 to count.
You know, we asked him later, what the pitch was. It was a cut fastball.
He wasn't sure exactly.
No, he wasn't, and we've heard him say that a couple of times. Not sure.
There's a ball hit wide of first, backhanded by Kadire. The underhand flip, and the Indians go 1-2-3. And Twins pitchers have combined now to set down 7 Indians in a row. On to face Danny Valencia, J.J. Hardy, and Jason Repko. Drive down a run at 5-4.
And you get an opportunity to bring Perez in, even though you're down a run. You have tomorrow off. You want to keep him sharp. He pitched in Friday's game.
High pop foul. This will find the seats down the right side. Valencia 0 for 3 here today, 2 for 10 in the series. And a fastball down low from Perez. Oh, good slider, rung him up. One down here in the ninth. Back to the studios with an in-game update. Here's Al Pawlowski.
All right, man, 9th inning, 2 outs. Brandon Morrow looking for the no-hitter against Tampa Bay, and Evan Longoria gets an infield single as Aaron Hill can't come up with it. Puts runners at the corners now with 2 outs for Tampa. They're still down 1-0. Back to you.
It's a final. Toronto wins it 1-0. Dan Johnson struck out to end the game, so what a job by Brandon Morrow.
17 punch-outs?
137 pitches made to get the win. That is an incredible effort. Roger Clemens holds the Blue Jays franchise record with 18 strikeouts, so he finished one shy. 17 strikeouts. And I'll tell you what, that's a heck of a job when you're over 130 pitches and you've just lost a no-hitter and you've got runners first and third in a 1-0 game.
He figured he battled that hard to get that long and get the no-hitter. He couldn't bring somebody in and let him give up the loss.
No, I'm saying, but the job that Morrow did to buckle down after all that happened.
Exactly.
And still go right at and strike out the last guy to end it. That's a tremendous job. He had natural tendency to kind of go, oh, man, and maybe
when it's
1-0,
he didn't, that's maybe why the focus was there. He didn't let up.
J.J. Hardy looks at the ball outside, and the count is 2-2. There's a high pop. Shallow right. Out goes Donald. In comes Chu. One away. Excuse me, 2 down. So there you go. The Tampa Bay Rays involved in 3 no-hit games this year and came within 1 out of having a 4th. That's unbelievable.
Well, and they've been involved with some close as well. CeCe had him down for 7 innings before Shoppach got the hit. It's been a number of times.
And yet there they are starting the day, a game and a half out of first in the East. For the moment, they fall 2 games in back of the Yankees. They're 3 games in back of New York in the loss column. Tried to bunt. It's a strike. 0-2. Jason Repko 1 for 3. He scored back in the 5th inning. Two-strike pitch, popped him up. Matt Laporta near the coach's box. He's got it. And the Twins go 1-2-3. Last chance for the Indians coming up. They trail the Twins 5-4. Ninth. And for the Indians, Andy Marte, Trevor Crowe, Jason Donald due up. We'll get a pinch hitter for Andy Marte as you get a look at Twins closer Matt Capps. Denard Span is into the ball game. He's in center. Jason Repko slides over to right. And the pinch hitter for the Tribe will be Jordan Brown. Brown, a left-handed hitter, coming off a tremendous performance last night in which he went 3 for 4 with hits in 3 consecutive at-bats.
Well, the Indians had a 4-0 lead in this ball game, and that was after the second inning. And then since that point, only 4 hits. Laporta and Crow had the 2 hits in the 4th and also 2 in the 6th. But that has been it.
94-mile-an-hour fastball from Matt Capps to get ahead. Punches it foul. It's 0-2.
They got Matt Capps from the Washington Nationals in exchange for, you remember the catcher, Wilson Ramos.
Yeah.
And they needed to make a move. They wanted to shore up their closing duties. Big guy John Roush had done a nice job, but they just weren't sure going down the stretch.
And the Georgia native strikes out Jordan Brown to start the game. Start the 9th, excuse me.
He goes right inside, and there you'll see it. Mauer sitting right there, frames it, gets the call. Brown will walk back to the dugout.
I guess when you're a closer, it is like starting the game for you.
Yeah, starting your inning. That's exactly right, which is,
especially
in essence, if you get 3 outs, going to be the game.
In a one-run affair, it really is. Here's Trevor Crow now. He's 3 for 3. Singled in all 3 at-bats today.
The thing that was encouraging there, it came from the right side of the plate, all 3 hits. A couple of them going the other way, another one up the middle. Because coming into the game, he was 90 points difference from the right side and the left side. Much better from this side of the plate.
Swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Capps was drafted by the Pirates back in 2002. 7th round pick. Saved 27 games his last year in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they just non-tendered him last year.
Big bouncer to second. Easy for Hudson. The flip, 2 down. Well, you look at it, Rick, and sometimes it can be misleading. We know that with Joe Borowski. He had the 27 saves last year and a .580 earned run average.
Well, as we saw before, if you have 1 or 2 bad outings as a closer, though, I mean, you're never going to get that ERA down. And eventually that's going to happen, where you blow up. You don't worry about the ERAs. Give me those saves. That's a makeup.
Jason Donald takes a strike. Cubs and Mets were also interested in trying to sign Capps in the offseason, but he wound up with Washington, as you mentioned. And now pitching for the Twins in the back end of their bullpen. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Matt Capps and the Twins are 1 strike away from holding on for the victory. Now the 1-2. Donald fights it off to stay alive. You know, while it certainly helps Minnesota to acquire a guy like Matt Capps, the big question they had with the injury to Joe Nathan was inexperience at that position going down the stretch. And while Capps is a closer and has been a closer, he's never been in a white-knuckle pennant race down the stretch either. So they still have some of those unanswered question marks, I suppose.
Well, they do, but you had a guy that, John Roush, who had a lot of saves to that point. So you have a couple guys you can go to.
The 1-2 pitch. A little bit high to even the count. Nine Indians have been retired in a row, and the 2-2 is fouled right back. Last Indian to reach was Trevor Crowe, who singled with 2 outs in the 6th inning. The Antiactas club got off to the great start today, led 4-0. But Minnesota batted around, scoring 5 times in the 5th to knock David Huff out of the game. And they've made it stand up ever since. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. Indians go 1-2-3, and Minnesota pitchers combine to retire the last 10 Indians hitters in a row. Our final score today is Minnesota 5, Cleveland 4. The winning pitcher is Brian Dunsing, who goes to 5-1 now on the year. The loser is David Huff, who drops to 2-11 on the season. With the win, Minnesota is now 63-49, and the Indians drop to 47-65. And for Matt Capps, I believe, is that his second save with the Twins? Threw my sheet out already. It's his second save with Minnesota. All right, time now for the play of the game, brought to you by Key Bank. Switch to Key and get a free Sony Bloggy. Visit key.com/bloggy for details.
Well, it's the 5th inning where the damage was done, and this got it going after the leadoff walk to Michael Kadire, Jim Thome. It's home run number 478. That got him on the board. They continued to add on from that point. And, I mean, it was no cheapie. There it is. Those are the first 2 runs. They added 3 more in the inning. So Jim Thome's home run is going to be our key bank, key play of the game.
So